Many of us have been saying for a while now that the only thing Reform are going to reform is themselves into another centre-left Liberal Party. We saw their chairman Mohammed Youssef disappear, also known as Zia Youssef, and then come back 2 days later, only to be replaced as chairman by David Bull. He looks like one of these squeaky clean media-friendly eunuchs you get from the Uni Party. Now, this David Bull was apparently in TV before he got into politics. He's one of these homes under the hammer, this morning commentators, that sort of thing. And you'll be delighted to see his original takes on big issues like immigration.
So I think that the key for me about this is it's about integrating into this country. Immigration is the lifeblood of this country. It always has been.
What? Oh, for goodness sake, we've come to expect this sort of nonsense from the Labour Party, the Lib Dems, the Greens, even the Tory Party. But Reform's USP is they stand up to this ahistorical, subversive crap. Now you might think, look, first day on the job, it's a slip of the tongue, probably a bit nervous, he'll be set straight behind the scenes. Well, it turns out he wasn't. Here he is responding to accusations that what he said was complete nonsense.
But let's be very clear, what I meant by that was controlled immigration into this country. We are an island of immigrants.
No, we're not. No, we're not. This is ahistorical, radical left-wing propaganda that's swallowed up the mainstream and you're supposed to stand against. Like many of us and anyone with Celtic, Anglo, Norman blood, we go back here thousands of years. We didn't turn up yesterday cup in hand. The history of the British Isles is actually ethnically very consistent. We have the Celtic nations and Germanic England. Remember, the Anglos were Germanic, the Vikings who invaded were Germanic. On top of that, the Normans were a Germanic group as well. Now, while there are other smatterings here and there, broadly speaking, even the groups who came here, invaded and interbred to varying levels were still largely Germanic themselves as well. And it's these groups which made Britain what it was. Now, with these takes on what Britain is, it seems to me to be undeniable that Reform are modelling themselves as another globalist Liberal Party. How could it be otherwise? But the real question is, why are Farage and Reform doing this? We have a woeful Labour government in charge. The Tory party are equally woeful. He can pick up votes from both sides. The public want change. They're concerned by issues like immigration, and they want a charismatic leader. It's a free hit. To my mind, there are only two reasons why Farage could be acting this way. A, because deep down he's just another Metro Liberal like everybody else, or B, the more likely option, all he really wants deep down is power. He could be trying to pull the reverse of the same trick Tony Blair pulled many years ago to get into power in 1997. We've forgotten it now, but the Labour Party was much more hard left economically back then. Blair scrapped Clause 4, the commitment to socialism, and thereby dragged the party more to the centre. They can embrace neoliberal economics. Now, famously, Blair offset that betrayal of the traditional left by granting huge concessions when it came to cultural and social leftism. In a sense, that's what created the modern world: total globalism, total liberalism, socially and in economics. My core point here is that Blair sold out the traditional left, the working class of his party, but banked that they would still hold when it came to the ballot box, because who else could they vote for? The Tories, the Lib Dems, and that freed up Blair to try and get the centrists and even the centre-right vote. Now, that strategy worked big for Blair, and it saw him romp home to victory 3 times in a row. Now, you can probably see where I'm going with this, but it seems to me that Farage is thinking the same, only in reverse. He thinks that the right-wing vote, the populist vote, is going to hold. Sure, he can betray it a bit, he'll lose a few here and there, but en masse he'll still get a big vote there, which frees him up to start playing to the centrist dads and the centre-left. Now, if I'm right, and that is Farage's strategy, it also tells us something else about how Farage is thinking about Britain and the modern world, and that's that globalist liberalism is here to stay. While his base are desperate to end this curse on the Western world, to limit immigration, to even reverse it and restore the traditional foundations of our country, it doesn't seem Farage thinks that way. On that note, we recently heard from Richard Tice, who, like Nigel Farage, isn't bothered about white Brits becoming a minority in their own country in a matter of decades. Tice himself said that he wouldn't be around, the typical liberal boomer attitude with no concern to the future, but everything about themselves here and now. Yet in my view, Reform are getting this all wrong and are skating on very thin ice. They can't pull off the Blair strategy of 1997 because the public and their base are more irate than they're giving them credit for. Second to that, the foundations of globalist liberalism themselves are shaking, and shaking big. And this is a theme I keep coming back to on the channel. The threats that the UK and the modern West faces are bigger than election cycles. They won't be solved at the ballot box. We're talking epochal change away from globalist liberalism. It seems to me Farage has taken his side, and it's the wrong one. Personally, paradoxical though it may well seem, I find myself getting more confident about things by the day. Yes, it's a mess on the surface, but more and more people are finding their roots, waking up and seeing we need a new tomorrow. Maybe a bit of chaos is what we need to help us restore order. Of course, these are my thoughts as always. Do let me know what you think down below, and do consider subscribing to the channel if you're new. Enjoy the rest of your day.